But let me ask you a question. I need to
understand. Are we gonna tell the women you just attracted men like that?
So I want to understand where you're coming from, Austin. So do you believe the majority of men have this problem, or you think that it's just a select few?
Now, when we start talking, as the younger it goes, the closer it gets to majority.
Yeah. That's been my own experience.
Yeah. So. Now, if they're under 25, they fucking stink. More than likely, they
under 25. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the stream, Ringo TV Reactions. We back. What we're talking about today is the situation here with the passport bros. They're basically discussing a woman's personal hygiene. And based upon the passport bro leader, he believed that the majority of women in America have nasty stank coochie. This is what he believed. He's 23 years old, no life experience at all. But for whatever reason, he'd been with every woman, I guess, in America to know these particular points. So let's listen in and see exactly how passport bros move with women. Do they smash women with dirty box, or do they walk away from it? You know, because when you really think about it as a man, if a woman have foul odor or whatever the case is, and you complain that women in America are this and that, but yet you still smashing, that speaks volumes of the kind of man you are. Let's take a listen to this, find out exactly what's going on, shall we? Let's go.
Look, Austin, let me ask you this, okay? So when you got to that point, when you pulled down that panties and that shit stank, was you still fucking, or you walked away?
I'm not eating that shit. I'm fucking maybe.
Did you hear what the other guy just said? The other guy said that he would smash. What? You can't make this up. You can't make this up. He said he's not going to eat it, but he would smash. That's what he said. Let me rewind that back a little bit so you can hear that, because this is amazing.
When you got to that point, when you pulled down that panties and that shit stank, was you still fucking, or you walked away?
I'm not eating that shit. I'm fucking maybe.
I definitely never ate it.
Oh, hell no. I'm not saying. I didn't ask eat. I just said fuck. Like, you still did you?
In high school. High school.
Notice, the so-called passport bro leader said in high school. In high school. Do you see the kind of guys that you're dealing with here? These guys are following a guy that's talking about in high school. In high school.
Shit was so common. I addressed my homeboys about it.
He said in high school it was so common to smash women that had nasty stank cooch. The same guy that's complaining about how women in America are dirty and women overseas are clean, he's telling you in public that in high school it was a common thing to smash broads that was pretty much dirty and all of that. You can't make this up, people. Let's rewind that back. This is amazing. This is absolutely crazy to say the least.
In high school, high school, the shit was so common. I addressed my homeboys about it.
He addressed his homeboys about it. In high school, he addressed his homeboys about this. Not his father, not his uncle. No, his friends in high school.
And the first time.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The first two times I ran into it, I was like, hell no. And the third time, my homeboy was like, oh no, if you just throw the condom.
You see this mess? He said the first two times he ran into women that were like this, he was like, oh, hell no. All of that is cap. These guys are thirsty. At the end of the day, they smashing regardless of odor, smell, whatever the case is. These guys are really, really insecure type of guys and very immature. You could tell. It's like a bunch of incels on a panel. None of these guys are really dealing with women, but they're here talking about stuff that they really don't have no idea about. We're going to get into a lot of information. Let's go.
Well, go ahead.
Giovanni made a point earlier when he said about.
Okay, well, let me finish this.
Let Austin finish. Let finish.
The third time, my homeboy was like, if you put a condom on, it'll go away.
So let me get this straight. Your homeboy told you if you put a condom on, it's going to go away. A woman's odor is going to go away if you put a condom on. It sounds to me like the reason why this woman is getting this odor is because of you guys. Have it ever dawned on you? Have it ever dawned on you that the reason why these women are having these problems is because of you? You are the one who is the problem. Let's go.
So then I'm thinking, oh shit, he was 2-3 years older than me. I was like, this shit must be normal.
So because he was 2 or 3 years older than you, that substantiated the point that it must be normal. I don't know about you, but when something has a very bad odor, that's not normal. It's not. There's no way that could be normal.
These bitches must stink. This just must be a normal thing until I kept telling my mom. She's like, no, that's not a normal thing.
So you told your mom. So let me get this straight. So you asked your mom if it's a normal thing, and she gave you some advice. So what about your mom? Do her cooch stink? Because you made it very clear that women in America cooch stink, so that would include your mom. Am I right or wrong?
And I'm like, oh.
So notice, he ain't asked his father this. He asked his mom.
Well,
So, man,
she's not wrong.
She's wrong. Because you don't ask a woman none of that type of stuff and expect to get a good quality answer. She's going to tell you the answer that you want to hear because she's going to act like, well, my cooch is not stink, so whatever woman you messing with, her cooch stink. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. So she's basically implying that her cooch don't stink. When we all know she was out there 304 and 2.
Real. Because
That's
it's not
real.
normal. Period.
One
Not
person at a time.
normal.
I can't. Jerron, hold on one second. What'd you say, right here, E-Man? Either
See,
man,
man,
William.
We have to respect our penis. Like, listen, I believe that my penis is the most valuable thing on this earth.
Really? You believe your penis is the most valuable thing on this earth?
What?
You can't make this up. Do you see how these guys value their penis more than their life? Isn't that amazing? This is absolutely crazy. You got grown men that value their penis more than their life, people. Wow.
So I can't just go sticking this in some stinking box. Like, this is the reason why the bitches won't get they coochies together. You need to get up and say, hey, your pussy stink. You need to get that shit taken care of.
I do now.
A lot of these guys would not do any of that. They would not tell a woman anything. And to be quite frank, just for you remaining with the woman says there's a problem. You're supposed to get her up on out of there. You understand? That's what you're supposed to do. If you run into a situation where you're dealing with a woman and her cooch ain't right or her body ain't right, she ain't take no shower, then the best course of action that you need to do is either tell that woman take a shower or pretty much get her up, pack her up, and put her on out of that house, because that means that that woman been around the block with a lot of guys. That's a clear sign. When women have nasty odor and all sorts of problems, it's because they're all over the block. There is no way that a woman can be non-sexual, non-this, that, all this other stuff, and yet she have all these problems. It's impossible. Her pH is off. There's a lot of problems. There's too many men inside of this woman. And that's just the facts. And what you all must understand is y'all talking about she need to clean her vagina and do this and do that and all this other stuff. Listen, fam, this is an internal issue. You know what I mean? It's not just something you can wash off with soap. This just goes to show, listen, this just goes to show how immature these guys are and how they really don't know nothing about a female's body because they really never see it. The only time they see it is when they watch XXX videos. I'm serious. You cannot tell a woman that have personal hygiene problems with her vagina and tell her, hey, just go to the bathroom and wash up and we'll be all good. No, she still got the problem. The problem is still there. It's an internal problem.
She's gonna be ashamed.
That's why Austin went to Brazil.
So let me get this straight. He went to Brazil because he had a bad experience with a woman in America. This guy is 23 years old. You do the math between 23 down to his teenage years, and you want to believe that this guy was with so many women in America. I mean, he was just smashing women left to right. We're talking about the guy that Just in the last videos that I did, a couple of videos that I did, this guy was literally crying about the fact that he tried to approach a woman and, you know, she looked like she was feeling him. And then when she ghosted him, he got in his feelings about it. This guy don't even know how to approach a woman, but you want to believe that this guy was out here just smashing women left to right to literally tally up a number to identify that the majority of women in America have nasty cooch. You want to believe that? 23 years old. And you want to believe that this guy banged more than 100 women already? No, it's not so. Not in America. This guy don't get women in America. That's why they had to pack their bags and leave, because of the frustration. These guys are sexually frustrated because it seemed like every time they try to get with a woman, it just never works out. And they're trying to go where it's easy to bang women. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, and in Brazil, I have not ran into that. In Colombia, I have not.
And take her ass to the goddamn doctor.
So what's the difference? I actually talked to some chicks in Brazil. She said they learned that shit in school.
Listen, this nonsense, what he's talking about women learning something in school is all BS and cap. Do you understand me? All this nonsense is cap, because what they're basically saying is that the women in overseas are way more educated when it comes to the care of their vajayjay. And that's not so. You know, they're not in school teaching you, hey, this is how you clean your vagina. They're not doing all of that. You have to understand that this is an internal issue. You cannot wash it away with soap and water. I don't understand, what are these guys talking about? If a woman have any sort of body odor, it's internal. It's not on the surface. This is coming from the inside. And in order for her to deal with these issues, she would have to change, number one, her diet. Her diet must be changed, number one. Number two, she have to intake more water. Do you understand? She have to drink cranberry juice or eat cranberries or pineapples. Do you understand? She have to have more vegetation in her system. Let me tell you, fam, these guys don't have no knowledge whatsoever. All they want to do is smash. And when the smashing don't smell right, they want to blame the woman. This just goes to show that these guys are just thirsty demons looking for cooch. That's it.
I'm not teaching bitches in school how to get their pussy here.
I mean, just think about how these guys talk about women and how they address women. Think about these guys. Do these guys sound like fathers? Do these guys sound like they have daughters? Do these guys sound like they have children, sons? Do they even sound like they have any sort of responsibilities in life? No, they're just hungry savages that are just looking to take advantage of women. That's it. That's what the passport bros are about. And then you got this Asian guy. He looks so socially awkward standing there. It's just ridiculous. They're doing all the talking, but he's not doing no talking. Like, what is he there for? To blend in with the family or something? Like, this doesn't even make no sense. You could tell he don't get no women. You know he don't get no woman. He stay on those websites, OnlyFans and all those sites watching women all day. You could just tell. These guys just sit in their rooms all day long. They never go outside for no sunlight ever. That's how it be. But you heard the guy in the beginning. He said that he would smash. So he would smash a woman that got dirty cooch. He had no problem doing that. It was perfectly okay. And notice what he also said. He said he's not going to eat it, which proved that all of these guys, whenever time they get with a woman, whether it's a one-night stand, whatever the case is, they be ready to eat the cooch. You see what I mean? So they would eat the cooch too. See, if you're willing to smash a woman that got dirty cooch, you are also willing to eat it too. Let's just stop the cap. These guys will eat the cooch. They would tell her, look, go take a shower, clean up real quick. I'll do what I gotta do. These guys are nasty. When I tell you, these are the type of guys that be bringing diseases, STDs, all sorts of problems to other women. And you're wondering why these women have these hygiene problems. It's because of these kind of toxic males.
Wow, that's
Their
real.
mothers should be teaching them how to clean their pussy.
But the
See,
thing
this-
is, they still
Hey,
teaching them
they're
in
not
school.
teaching them.
But the thing is, they teaching them in school, meaning that they gonna learn it regardless. They not learning here.
Listen, they're not teaching no young ladies in school how to clean their vagina. I don't understand what these guys are talking about. You go to school to get an education on how to be a productive citizen. They ain't teaching you in school how to clean your vajayjay. You can take all the XXX education and all that nonsense. All of that stuff is bologna sandwiches. At the end of the day, if a woman understands her body, when you have your menstrual cycle, fool, that is when your body is going through a cleansing process. See, the problem with a lot of these guys is that they're just dumb, right? The whole idea of a woman taking care of her body is based upon her diet. Do you understand me? You cannot take soap and water and push it on up inside of the cooch and think you're going to clean a problem. It's not going to work. It's an internal problem. It's an internal problem, which means she have to change her diet. It's all about what she eat, the type of stuff she drink. All of these things play a major role in all of the problems that she have, not including, but also the men that she lay up with. Why? Because of these men that are ejaculating inside of her cooch because of their DNA mixed mingling with other DNA mixed mingling, and then it's not being removed from the insides. This further creates bacteria and other elements of disaster. Bars. Do you follow me? That's what's happening here.
Austin, though, what's your body count?
Nah,
Does it matter?
First of all, as a man, you should never ask a man what's your body count, because what you're implying is that he got popped by somebody. There's no such thing as a body count when it comes to men. The proper way to address a man is how many women have you slept with? That is how you address men. See, these guys, they don't even know how to address men. You address a woman with what's your body count. Why? Because a woman is the one who's carrying the bodies, because she carried the DNA of all these men. That is a fact. What you guys are supposed to ask this young man is, how many women have you slept with for you to determine that women in America have stank cooch? And we all know at his age of 23, this man have not been with so many women to the point where he can make such a blanket statement that women in America have poor pH this and all this other junk. No, he haven't been with all these women. And to think that women overseas are better off when overseas have legalized prostitution is totally laughable. It's not even making any sense. And this is the problem that we have in this society. Males like this, toxic males.
Austin, though, what's your body count?
nah,
Does it matter?
And notice he don't want to even confess how many women he slept with. And then you have another guy saying, what does it matter? All of these guys are literally fools. They're foolish. Because if you understand the topic of discussion, it does matter. Because if he's talking about how women in America have stank cooch and they're this and that, knowing how many women he slept with can literally identify how foolish he really is. Because if he say, well, you know what, 23, I only been with about, probably 8 women or 10, 12 the most. And for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? I just determined that that's just how it is. At that point, we could look at him and say, bro, there are over 170 million women in America. You only been with about 5 to 10 women and you concluded that all women in America have stank cooch. You can't make this up, people. So we have to think logically when we're dealing with these particular issues. Let's go.
Austin, though, what's your body count?
nah,
Does it matter?
Yes, it does matter. You guys talking to like y'all be getting all these women, like y'all out here smashing cooch left and right. Why don't you just confess how many women you've been with? It's like you guys, you want to know how many men or women slept with, but when guys ask you how many women you slept with, all of a sudden it's like you turn quiet. You don't want to talk. You don't want the guys to know. Why? Because y'all all comparing notes. Because the truth be told, the majority of these guys that are on the panel really didn't sleep with no women. And they're just a bunch of lames that are just here talking about women all day. Notice they're not talking about money. They're not talking about business. They're not talking about building any sort of houses, construction. They're not talking about nothing productive. They're busy talking about women, and that's the only thing on their mind, man.
What? What's the point of that? I'm confused. What?
It do matter because that's his sample size. That's his sample.
Okay, so if he said 500, so that means 300 of stinking pussy he been fucking?
Well, no.
Listen, there's no way that this clown, this passport bro clown that has a GoFundMe trying to get to Brazil, that he was with 500 women. This guy is a lame. When I tell you he got no game, he have no mouthpiece, he don't know how to talk to women, fam. Trust and believe. If you can't talk to women in America and you can't pull them, you can't talk to women or pull them overseas. It's just a fact. These guys are buying vagina everywhere they go.
His experience is his experience. It doesn't matter.
Just because he had a bad experience doesn't mean all women in America is trash. You guys are clowns, seriously.
Like the body count is just what he encounters. You feel me? So that's
the body count matter.
Notice how they're saying this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, but for some reason, when a woman have a high body count, all of a sudden it matters to them. This is hypocrisy to the max.
Yeah, but Adam, what's the body count? Though. Yeah, but he's speaking. Most of the talking points is speaking absolutes. If he's saying, "Oh, I went to Brazil,"
I never said anything absolute.
That's exactly what you're saying by saying that women in America are this and that's why you went to Brazil.
Nothing is absolute, bro.
Exactly, but the way you're talking about, listen to what I'm saying. I said the way you're talking with your talking points, you're making it seem like it's absolute. Oh, I went to Brazil, so only Brazilian women does this, so the American women crotch stink. That's 100% true. Because again, I went to Brazil too, and I got people on the phone. I can call it from Colombia, Brazil, England, whatever, and they'll tell a different story.
That's exactly it, because women in Brazil, DR, and every other place around the world have the same similar problems. And this is the foolishness that we got to deal with these weak black males, is that they're basically putting out these stereotypes that women in America have stank box, but women overseas, everything is good. But yet every one of these guys are going overseas to smash the same women, mind you. None of these guys are wifing them. Let's look at the math. Let's look at the details and find out what's going on. These guys are going overseas. They're smashing women overseas. They're not wifing them up. So when each of these passport bros go over there, what are the odds of these guys smashing the same exact woman? Think about it. Nobody's talking about that. But this is what's going on. They're not wifing them up. They're not doing anything else other than trying to find women that they assume are more clean. These guys are whoremonger males. There's nothing else to talk about.
That doesn't make it 100% true.
Well,
Dude, their pussy stink?
I've been to Brazil 3 weeks out of this year.
He's been to Brazil 3 weeks out of this year. So let me get this straight. Out of the whole year, you've been to Brazil for just 3 weeks. And you know everything you need to know about Brazil. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. 3 weeks, and he believes he knows everything about women overseas. See, this is the type of delusion that men project. Let's go.
And I have yet to run into it. 3 weeks in the United.
In 3 weeks, you mean to tell me in 3 weeks you were able to literally bag, get to know, and sleep with multiple women overseas to the point where it made you realize that, yeah, women in Brazil are way better than women in America in 3 weeks. Imagine going to a place, you don't know the language, you don't know what's going on, but as soon as you get off the plane, you go over there, you already done got women in your hotel room already. That fast. But for some odd reason in America, you can't even get a date. So let me get this straight. Out of 170 million women that are in America, these clowns can't find no women, right? They can't sleep with no woman, and all the women stink, but they just take a plane ticket, get a passport, go overseas, and in 3 weeks, they already slept with the majority of women in Brazil. It makes a lot of sense, right?
States, I can guarantee myself I run into it.
So
I've been to Brazil 3 weeks out of this year, and I have yet to run into it. 3 weeks in the United States, I can guarantee myself I run into it.
So
I've been to Brazil 3 weeks out of this year, and I have yet to run into it. 3 weeks in the United States, I can guarantee myself I run into it.
3 weeks in the United States, and you won't even pick up a sister, so stop. We already got receipts on you. You can't bag women in the United States. They don't want you, bro.
So you got a pussy detector all over the place, just
No, I'm saying for the chick that I bring home. So here's another way I can Here's another way I can debunk that. Because they say, "Oh, you're not vetting women properly." So apparently, when I go to Brazil, I'm just vetting I have a whole different taste of women when I get to another country.
Well, how are you vetting them over there in Brazil?
No, so here's my thing. I have a type. I like black women. So apparently, what you're saying is, I'm picking a different type of black women when I go over there.
No, we never mentioned race yet, except for just Brazil.
Well, no, I'm just telling you my type.
Yeah.
So you saying my vetting is off? Let's say I like hood chicks.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Okay.
This is sad, fam.
That we can associate that they may have a stinking ass.
This is just sad. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get up on out of here. Leave your comments, your feedback. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ringo TV Reactions. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.